So let's look at December, maybe November closing, right? Holidays are looming.
Yeah.
How do you're you're on a demo, maybe even it's the start of a process, right? It's a cold call. If you do quick deal, if your deal time is pretty quick, so you can close it within that period. But let's say you're running a demo. How can you best manufacture that process to understand how to close it in December? Like, what are some of the tactics that you can use during a demo or a closing process to understand if it is able to close in December, and how you kind of push that into a December close?
No, it's a good question. I mean, for me, I think most of it comes back to an element of transparency, and also an element of asking the right questions. So sometimes as salespeople, we don't like to ask the questions. We
Right.
avoid
We
the
don't want
questions.
those, right? We don't want to look for the reason why it won't
Yeah,
close.
exactly. I want to believe that I can close this deal out for Q4. So rather than actually
Yeah.
going through and asking the right questions, as difficult as they may be, it's probably better to vet that out, and then I have a realistic forecast for Q4 than someone tells me, "Oh, actually, I like this, and yeah, we do have some budget," and I take that as brilliant. This is going to close out in Q4. But I don't actually ask, "Well, actually, what's your procurement process? What's your PO process? What's your onboarding process? What's the who else? What other decision makers need to come in? There's budget there, but who else do we need to pitch this to?" And I think sometimes we hear the message we want to hear, and then we don't necessarily, not everyone, and we all try to do it, but we need to make sure we're digging a little bit deeper, so we can understand the full process. And if we do hear all the right things, then brilliant. Then we can say, look, transparently, our end of quarter's coming up. We're going to have a new financial year. We need to try and really wrap this up before then. We're going to have a large number of new clients coming on. We want to be able to make sure we can meet your timelines. So I always try to be as transparent as I can. And as long as you've built a good relationship with them, normally they'll be willing to try and work with you. If they know that you're a business and you're trying to hit your financial year end, if it's feasible, they'll work with you. They're not going to be intentionally difficult. But sometimes I think some salespeople who I've worked with in the past will try to create almost like false reasons to bring it forward, and people can read that a
Yeah.
mile off. So it's all about, really, for me, transparency, trying to make sure you're both singing off the same hymn sheet. You've asked the right questions, you set yourself up for it, and then you'll understand realistically, have I got a chance of closing this? If you have, brilliant. Let's try and work to that deadline. If you haven't, that's fine. That's a Q1 deal to be reviewed and looked at. Let's get that in motion, but then let's start refocusing our time and attention on the other opportunities which might be able to close out in Q4.